Namashastam manamati asachibhutam atma-surupam urupam tasya-graja-maituri maturim goshtuvati radha-kunda-vadevaram aho-radhika-madhavasam Rakto yasya patikatipaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Gurave Gaurachandra Radhikai Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad-Bhaktaya Namo Namo Ananda-Lila-Maya Vigraha Hey Baba Divya Sundaraya Tasmai Maha Prema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Bhakta Bhima Abhirana Dakshan Shivasta Bhagavatamrta Dipamayitam Sharanam Prabhata Vrinde Namaste Janataravinam Vrinde Namaste Janataravinam Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Hey Krishna, Hey Radha, Hey Radhe Govinda Damodara Madhaveti Sham Sundar Shikanda Shekhar Smaraha Survi Manohara Radhikar Sukumama Kripanidare Supir Janaki Kurintu Tuvai Vasmi Najivani Tayavina Tivikyaya Devitam Nayama Chanadikam First of all, I offer my sustaining Dandavat Puspanjali. My heart like flowers thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my holy master Smadhiya Paramaradhata Guru Padama Nitya-lila Pravishta Om Vishnupad Ashtodhara Sutta Rupanuga Varya Srila Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands and thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Sri Rupanuga Gaudiya Guru Parampara. And I offer my pranam to the assembled Vaisnavas and Vaishnavas. So, by the causeless mercy of Sri Guru and Varanga, we have been hearing from Srimad-Bhagavatamrta Kanan. 3 books are most dear to the Gaudiya Vaisnavas: Bindhu, Kiran, that is Bhakti-Rasamrita Sindhu Bindhu, Ujvala-nilamani Kiran, and this Bhagavatamrta Kanan. 3 commentaries, very short and concise, by Srila Vishnu-Thakur, that give us insights into the very deepest conclusions of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of Sri Gaudiya Vaisnavas. So thus far we have been discussing dhama-tattva. From this world is Devi Dham, the Dham of Durga Devi. And above this the Viraja river, above this the Siddhalok, the Brahma Jyoti, the lower portion of Siddhalok is Brahma Jyoti, the higher portion of Siddhalok is Sadashiv Lok, of Sadashiv. And above this, innumerable Vaikuntha planets. And above this, Sanket Dham of Lord Ramachandra. And then Goloka. The outer portion of Goloka planet, there is so much Aishwarya. All the Brijvasis are there with Krishna. But they know that Krishna is Bhagavan. And Radha and Krishna, they are married. There is Swakiya Rasa there. I remember seeing yesterday, not today, I'm very happy today, but yesterday, Pujari had given one Brahmin thread to Krishna, the deity of Krishna. So the Brahmin thread is given when just before, according to the riti of the Gopa caste, that means the customs of the Gopa caste, the Brahmin thread is given just before getting married. So because in Vrndavan, Krishna is not married. He is not about to get married. He has no Brahman thread. But in Goloka, there is Swakiyamut. Krishna is married. So there he can have a Brahman thread. So if the deity of Krishna has a Brahman thread, then and next to Radharani, then this is the Lila-Tattva. So, for today completely Gopa Vaisnavas. I should not look, otherwise I cannot concentrate to give the class. Too beautiful. Lalita-Bangalata Parishil Gopa-Kumar. So, in Goloka, there is Aishwarya, but inside the Goloka planet, there is the realm of Dwarka, where Aishwarya is there, but Madhurya, more Madhurya is manifested, sweetness. And higher than Dwarka is Mathura, where again Aishwarya is there, but even more sweetness is manifested, covering the Aishwarya. And last place is called Gokula. There are all Aishwaryas completely covered by Madhurya. And Krishna plays like an ordinary boy. Gopis are married to others, not to Krishna. And so there is Parakiya Rasa there. So only the followers of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu enter into the innermost aspect of the Goloka planet, that is called Gokula, Braj or Vrndavan. And those who are worshipping Radha and Krishna in other sampradayas, they may go to Goloka. And even in our sampradaya, many devotees, they are worshipping Radha and Krishna, but by Vaidhi Bhakti. And Vaidhi Bhakti has no power to awaken the mood of Braj. So unless they will come under the guidance of a Braj Rasik and Rupanuga Vaisnava and hear deeply the Siddhantas of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami, they can also go to Goloka. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Jagannatha Pandit, in Prem Vivata. Some people suggested Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually wrote this, so whichever way you want to take it. But there Jagannatha Pandit has said, Gaurar Ami, Mukhi Galile, Nahi Chale, Gaura Vichar, Gaura Achar, Lale Fale Fale. Many people say, Gaura Ami, I'm Gaudiya. But only those who will deeply follow Gaura Achar, his behavior, how he did bhajan, and Gaura Vichar, his deep philosophical conclusions, then the result of being Gaudiya can be attained. Gaura Achar, Gaura Vichar, Lale Fal Fale. So, yesterday we discussed in some detail how in that Vrndavan, in Gokula, which is the origin of all the other dhams, that Goloka is the Vaibhav Prakash, opulent manifestation of Gokula. That is the relationship between Goloka and Gokula. Otherwise they are non-different. So, in Gokula, the madhurya, the sweetness completely covers Aishwarya, the opulence. Or sometimes the Aishwarya mixes with the sweetness and they become one group. They become Ekarup. And we gave examples from the Lila yesterday. Very, very subtle tattva, you may remember. Now we're moving on to the next point. So, now we come to Lila-Tattva. Sri Krishna's Lila is of two types, prakat and aprakat. So, that Lila of Krishna, which is not visible in any of the material universes, and in which simultaneously Balya, Pauganda and Kishore Vilas, that means babyhood, childhood and adolescent pastimes, they're going on eternally. That is called aprakat-lila. So, this is very interesting subject because many people think that Krishna in this form, Gopa Vaisya Venu Kara Navakeshwar Natabara, as a teenager with two hands holding the flute, dressed like a cowboy boy, that this is the original form of Krishna, and in the spiritual world there is no childhood, no babyhood. Only this form is there. But here Sri Vishnu Thakur is saying no. In the Leela which is not manifest before the people of this world, therefore it's called aprakat. Prakat means manifest, aprakat means not manifest to the senses of the jivas in this world. In that aprakat Leela, simultaneously, in different prakash, in different dimensions, the Balya Lila, that means baby pastimes, Pauganda Lila, childhood pastimes, and Kishore Lila, adolescent pastimes are going on. So don't think that Goloka Vrndavan, Gokula, is just like one geographical place. But rather, just like now, the scientists have this idea called parallel universes theory. That there are many, many different universes all the same, going on at the same time. So, this is the closest thing anyone can come to the idea of Krishna Lila. That Krishna Lila is going on in separate what is called prakash, separate manifestations. So, those who are in Vatsalya Rasa, they are very attracted to the baby pastimes. Those who are in Sakya Rasa are attracted to the Pauganda Lila. And those who are in Madhurya Rasa, or those who are in the Sakya Bhav, which is Priya Narma Sakya Bhav, like Subhav, Ujvala, Madhumanga, those coward boys who are involved in Krishna's romantic pastimes with gopis. So those in Madhurya Ras and those in Prem Narma Sakya Bhav, they are attracted to Krishna's Kaishore Lila adolescent pastimes. So what will happen if devotees are doing sadhana in this world? When they go to the spiritual sky, Krishna is only Kishore. Then the devotees in Vatsalya who have been serving Krishna as a baby, and so on. What will they do? They have missed everything. So it's to be understood that all three Leelas, three ages are present there in the aprakat-lila. Now, so because that Leela is not manifest to the Bhagavad Jivas, it's called aprakat, unmanifested. However, once in a day of Lord Brahma, Astabhingsa Chaturjuga Dwarparayar Shesh Braja Sahai Leela Prakashe is stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita that in a day of Lord Brahma, Satya, Treta, Dwapar and Kali Yuga, this goes around 1,000 times. So when it has gone around 71 times, this is the period of one Manu. And after that, all the demigods, Indra, everyone, they all change. Not Brahma, but from Indra, all those deities change. So that is called one Manvantara, 71 Chatur Yugas. So there is one Manu for each period. So the 7th Manu is called Vaivasvata Manu. So during the reign of the 7th Manu, Vaivasvata Manu, in the 28th cycle of ages. Are you following? So it's 71 Chatur Yugas times 6, and now start counting again. In the 28th one, in the reign of Vaivasvata Manu, Astavingsa Chatur Yuga Dwarparayar Shesh, then comes Satya, Treta, then Dwarpa, and in the end of Dwarpa Yuga, Krishna appears in this world. And he does this only once in a day of Lord Brahma. After Vaivasvata Manu, there are 7 more Manus, and then Brahmaji's day is over. And then there's a partial annihilation. So, only once in a day of Lord Brahma, Sri Krishna appears in this world to perform his pastimes. Now, what is important is that in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita a great mystery has been told. Astavingsa Chatur Yuga Dwarparayar Shesh Krishna Brajara Sahai Krishna Lila Prakashe. That Krishna manifests the Leela here of Braja. So, because some people think that the Parakya Ras, or Krishna's relationship with gopis who are married to others, is not in the spiritual world. But rather Krishna comes here, and then this Leela is done here like an illusion. And then he goes back to Goloka. So in Goloka he's married, he comes here, he does some Parakya Leela here in this world, and then he goes back to Goloka, where they're eternally married. But Krishna's Karaj is saying, no, that Krishna manifests not Goloka Leela, but the Braj Leela, the Gokula Leela from the innermost aspect of the Goloka planet, the Antar Mandal, he brings that and manifests it here on this earth. So what Sri Krishna manifests here in this very place where we are now, Vrndavan, is higher than Goloka. Understand? Now, according to, by the power of Krishna's Achintya Shakti, that is Gatana Pratyasi Shakti, the power to make the impossible possible. At that time, that Leela from the innermost aspect of the Goloka planet is visible to anyone who happens to be here on earth at that time. They can see it with their eyes, with their regular eyes. Why? Krishna's Achintya Shakti. It doesn't mean that they can taste it. necessarily. It depends on their praying. Just like Kamsa Maharaj can see Krishna, but he cannot taste his beauty. Because the ability to taste the beauty of Krishna depends on the degree of love. The cowherd boys relish the beauty of Krishna. Mati Yashoda relishes more, she has more love. The gopis relish more, they have more love. Chandravali relishes more. Radharani relishes Krishna's beauty the most because she has the most love. That's why when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna appeared into this world, he did not come to relish the sweetness of Krishna. He came to relish the sweetness of Krishna that's tasted through the eyes of Radharani's love. So, now, when that confidential Leela of Braja, the aprakat-lila, becomes manifested once in a day of Lord Brahma before the eyes of the jivas of this world, at that time it's called prakat-lila. Prakat-lila. Now, something very wonderful. Very often devotees think that the prakat-lila is one thing and the aprakat-lila is something else. These are separate lilas, prakat and aprakat-lila. But it's not like that. You see, in the aprakat-lila, Krishna is a baby, or in another prakash, Krishna is a child, in another prakash, Krishna is a youth. So this aprakat-lila is a prakash wherein that balu-lila, baby pastime, is that very pastime of being a baby is manifested here. It becomes prakat manifest here, and then that becomes aprakat, and as that becomes aprakat, the Pauganda-lila from there is manifested here. And then as that becomes aprakat, the Kishore-lila from there is manifested here. And so, there's no difference between the prakat-lila and the aprakat-lila. It's only the various prakash or dimensions of the nitya-lila there are being displayed, but one after another in a sequence within one prakash in this world. Understand? This is called Lila-Tattva. Did everyone catch that? Yes? You don't get it, no? Okay, I'll explain one more time. Actually, without hearing, learning these siddhantas, you cannot do bhajan. Why? Who can say why? Without knowing such tattvas, you cannot do bhajan. Why? Foundation of tattva. Getting closer. Who has read Jaiva Dharma? Yeah. So in the end of Jaiva Dharma, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur discusses very deeply how to do bhajan. And the first stage is called Shravan Dasha, the stage of hearing. So, if devotees are not listening with complete attention and with great eagerness, then they are not in the stage of Shravan Dasha. Or if they are hearing, but the katha they are hearing is all jumbled up, not presented in a methodical way, it cannot be the Shravan Dasha. So, in order to enter into bhajan, one has to do Kram Shuddha Shravan Dasha. Remember? In Jaiva Dharma? Kram Shuddha Shravan Dasha. It means that hearing should be methodical. That one should hear with a completely focused attention and with a proper discrimination into what is prakat-lila and aprakat-lila, what is nitya-lila and naimitic-lila. Otherwise, the rasa, the mellows of the pastimes, the heart will not become imbued with the sweetness of the lila. And then one cannot go to the next stage called Varandasha. Then Smarandasha, Apandasha, Bhavakan Dasha, and then Sampati Dasha. So there are 5 stages to enter into bhajan. So if one is only hearing in a jumbled up way, without a very fine discrimination between prakat and aprakat lila, nitya lila and naimitic lila, we'll explain the relation of nitya and naimitic lila, between Goloka-tattva and Gokula-tattvas, then it will not be kram shuddha shravan dasha, or the purely methodical hearing which is required to enter into bhajan. So I remember the lotus feet of my Gurudev, and frankly I can tell that this is really his speciality, that very, very carefully he presented all these siddhantas so that devotees can enter into the kram shuddha shravan dasha, which is the door to bhajan. Now in the world these kathas are disappearing. Very rare in the whole world, even very high level and advanced devotees, very rare you can hear this type of katha. I was just hearing a lecture of Gurudev. He was speaking on this very subject of nitya, naimitic, prakat and aprakat lila, and how it relates to Krishna lila and Gaur lila in Australia in 1998. And at the end of the lecture, I was there also in person, but I was just hearing today. And at the end of the lecture he said, I am telling this katha, and most of you will just forget about it. You'll listen and forget. But those who are very lucky, you'll take it into your heart and try to enter into understanding. Though you may not understand, chant Harinam and pray that Mahaprabhu and Rupa Goswami and your Guru Parampara will inspire you, not to catch in a theoretical way, but in a practical way. What is the significance of this katha? He said, but for many, he said, I don't know how many lakhs of lifetimes will pass before they have interest in this. In 1990, Gurudev was just starting his prachar outside of India at that time. All were listening and astonished, they never heard such guitar before. So, even if you don't understand, anyway, listen, try to understand. In the future, can realize how valuable this katha is. So, now, we're explaining this point again. Aprakat-lila is in the spiritual world. Prakat-lila is manifested here. What's the difference between the two? They are not two separate lilas in one sense, but rather, they're in the spiritual world. Eternally, Krishna is a baby playing in one prakash. In another prakash, he's a boy playing. That as a baby, that means quite naked, running here and there, stealing butter, being tied by Mother Yashoda and so on. Then in another one, he's a boy. He's going out with the cows in the field, climbing trees, swimming in the river, playing with his friends. And in another prakash, he's Kishore. Now he came to the point where he's very interested in gopis of Vrndavan. He wants to sing and dance with them secretly. This is Kishore Lila. So these Leelas are going on in separate dimensions in the spiritual world called Prakashas. Now the prakat-lila, we see, so there's no time. So because there's no time there, Krishna does not grow. He's eternally a baby, or eternally a boy, or eternally a teenager. But here when Krishna manifests in this world, we see Krishna is a baby, and every day he's growing, then he becomes a boy, then he becomes a teenager. He's growing, yeah. So how does that happen? What happens is that the aprakat-lila from there is being shown here. Oh, now he's a baby. And then this becomes unmanifest. You cannot see it again. And the next lila, he's a little bit older. Is shown here. And then that becomes unmanifest. And then the next lila. So the prakat-lila actually is the aprakat-lila, but the different prakashas, the dimensions are being shown in a sequence that is called kran. in a kram, a sequence, one after another, to give the impression that Krishna is a baby and he's growing up. And so on, you see? And the one prakash, or the one dimension of Lila, where the aprakat prakashas, many of them, are being shown in a sequence, and which is visible to the eyes of the people on earth at the time, once in a day of Lord Brahma, is called prakat-lila. Okay? Understand? So you have to catch that, because this is only opening the Pandora's box now. Because once you open this box, so many things will come out. But good things, not problematic things. So now Gurudev is explaining. Something fantastic. Now, we have heard that in different days of Lord Brahma, the Leelas are different. Krishna doesn't do all the Leelas in the same way. For example, in one universe, in one day of Lord Brahma, Krishna will fight with Keshi and kill him. But in another day of Lord Brahma, instead of killing him, Krishna will get on his back, like a rodeo, and he'll tame him. And he tames the Keshi, and Keshi becomes his pet. And so that when the boys, they want to play with Keshi, then Krishna says, come on. And Keshi's horse is enormous, he's huge. And all the cowboys, hundreds, can all get on his back at the same time. And Keshi jumps, and he jumps through the clouds, through the sky, and all the boys holding up, having a great time. Is that cool? So Krishna, he does different things in different days of Lord Brahma. It's not always the same. In one day of Lord Brahma, he dances on the head of Kaliya, and then afterwards he sends Kaliya away, leave my Vrndavan. But in other days of Lord Brahma, he keeps Kaliya as his servant, and Kaliya becomes like a nauka, like a boat. And sometimes Krishna comes with all the gopis, and Kaliya is like this, and Krishna, all the gopis get on, and they do nauka vilas, boat pastimes in the Jamuna. In some days of Lord Brahma, Krishna, instead of Akrura coming from Mathura to Vrndavan and taking him on a chariot, Krishna rides on the back of Kaliya along the Jamuna to go to Mathura. So, in different days of Lord Brahma, that is in different kalpas, the Leelas are different. So, here, Srila Gurudev is explaining, कल्प के भेद से कुछ लीलाओं में कुछ वैशिष्ट भी देखे जाते हैं. यह वैशिष्ट अप्रkat-lila में विभिन्न प्रकार की लीला वैशिष्ट के कारण ही होता है. It means that why are the leelas different in different days of Lord Brahma? Because in the aprakat-lila there are so many fantastic varieties. And when Krishna's prakat-lila is manifested here, only a small selection of those leelas is demonstrated here in this world. So sometimes one selection is demonstrated, sometimes another selection. So the Krishna lila in this world is a bit like a menu. Actually the chef, he can cook so many things, but the menu today, this is the menu today. In this day of Lord Brahma, this is the menu of Krishna's lila. So, the Lila Vaishishta, all different types of Lila, many different types, not all types, but many different types of Lila are there in the Goloka Vrndavan, and the reason why there is kalpa bhed, he said, kalpa bhedeshu harikatha svabhava. That in different kalpas, Krishna's Lila is different. The cause of the Vaishishta, the cause of the speciality between different days of Lord Brahma is the Vaishishta from there. That's the cause. Okay? This Siddhanta is clear to everyone? Yes? Okay, now we go to the next one. Now, in one kalpa, Krishna Lila can be manifested in one way, and in another kalpa, it's manifested in a different way. Now I just gave several different examples. But Srila Gurudev here, in his commentary on Bhagavatamrta says that in some kalpas, Krishna leaves Vrndavan and goes to Mathura and Dwarka and never comes back. He doesn't come back in the prakat-lila, he doesn't return. Whereas in other kalpas, when Dantavakra invades Mathura, from Dwarka, Krishna comes from Dwarka to defend Mathura from Dantavakra, and after killing Dantavakra, he crosses the river Jamuna to the forest which is directly on the other side from Mathura. So when we do our Brajmandal Parikrama very soon, we'll go to Mathura and we'll take the boat across to the other forest. And the forest on the other side there is called Lila-Tattva. So according to Jiva Goswami, after Krishna had come from Dwarka to Kurukshetra, and Brijbasis from Vrndavan had met with Krishna at Kurukshetra, then Krishna returned to Dwarka, and the Brijbasis came back to Braj, but they didn't go back to their homes. They made a camp in Lila-Tattva. So when Krishna came to Mathura and killed Dantavakra, he crossed the river, and there all Brijbasis were camped and waiting for him to return, because he promised, I will have a few more demons to kill, then I'll return. And so Krishna met with Brijbasis, they saw his chariot coming and ran towards the dust raised by the chariot. They heard the sound, his cars. And then they sang, Jaya Chaitanya Nivaso Yaduvara Chatswar Govira Sendra Stira Chala Bilirana Susmita Shikela. So this verse is at the very end of the 10th canto of our Srimad-Bhagavatam. But our Srimad-Bhagavatam doesn't say that Krishna came back. Doesn't say. There's a hint in Bhagavatam spoken by the residents of Dwarka in the first canto. Oh Krishna, when you go away from Dwarka and you go to Madhupur. So Madhupur means Mathura, and Mathura is within Brajmandal. So there's an idea that he goes back, a hint of that in Bhagavatam, but the pastime of his return is not given there. So, in some days of Lord Brahma, Krishna returns, in some days he does not return. In this day of Lord Brahma, that is described in our Srimad-Bhagavatam, Krishna's return is not mentioned in our Bhagavatam. So, Srila Jiva Goswami gives a very beautiful reason why. He said that the devotees in this world are hearing Bhagavatam or reading Bhagavatam. And the 10th canto is there, Krishna Lila. So, after 39 chapters of the 10th canto, Krishna leaves. And there are 90 chapters. So that means there are 51 chapters of the 10th canto, Krishna is not even in Vrndavan. Only 39 are in Vrndavan. So they read 10th canto, 39 chapters have gone, and Krishna leaves. And then each page they're turning. They're waiting. When he's going to say that he comes back? And still not coming back. Perhaps he'll come back on the next page. And they go all the way through the whole 10th canto and he doesn't come back anywhere. Oh, that's Hare Krishna. And they become filled with utkanta. Utkanta means eagerness. Utkanta literally means when you're about to die, your atma is floating in the region of the heart, and when you're about to die, the pran pushes your atma up and the soul leaves from the mouth. For the pious people, not the impious. The impious people, they go down. So for the good people, their pran pushes the soul up from the mouth. So, ut means up and kanta means throat. So the word utkanta means eagerness. But the implication is that a person is so eager that their soul has come utkanta, it's up to the neck. That means they're about to leave. They're so desperate, they're on the verge of death. That is called Jivan Sandhi, the junction of life and death. Sandhi means the meet where two things meet. Like now we do Sandhya Arti. Sandhya in this sense is the Arti when the day and the night, the junction between day and night is called Sandhya. So Jivan Sandhi is the place where life and death meet, the point in between. So bhajan, real bhajan is only done by those who are in Jivan Sandhi. You see? Because one of the 9 symptoms of bhav is utkanta. You know? Shanti ravyati kalatvam virakti manashunyata ashabanda samutkante namagana sadaruchi. So one of the symptoms of the appearance of bhav, those who are really doing bhajan, is utkanta. They are so desperate in separation from Krishna. It's as if their soul is about to leave. So bhajan is done where? In the Jivan Sandhi. Those are in that stage. So Srila Jiva Goswami said that especially when the bhajan is infused with extreme utkanta, then this is called Madhurya-maya bhajan, the bhajan in Madhurya Rasa. And therefore Shukadeva Goswami, being very expert and wanted to inspire the devotees to advance very quickly in Madhurya Rasa, following in the footsteps of the gopis of Vrndavan, he never described Krishna's return in Srimad-Bhagavatam. In 51 chapters, he did not explain it. To make that utkanta which is necessary to do bhajan following in the footsteps of Braja Gopis. Jai. Sisi Radha Shama Sundar Jai. Now, another thing. In this Bhagavatamrta Kanan, Srila Vishwanath Thakur said that in the aprakat-lila, there is no gamana-gaman, that means coming and going. In the aprakat-lila, in the spiritual sky, unmanifested pastimes, Krishna is in Braj, in 3 ages, and simultaneously he's in Dwarka and Mathura and Goloka, and there's no movement between one to the other. You see, in this world, you see, Krishna's in Vrndavan for about 10 years, 8 months, and then he goes to Mathura. After being in Mathura for some time, on the 18th attack of Jarasandha and Kalayavan comes to attack for the first time, Krishna moves all the Mathura Vasis to Dwarka. And then afterwards he comes back to Mathura to fight with Mahabharata, and he may or may not, depending on which day of Lord Brahma, then return to Braj as well. You see? So, but here, Vishwanath Thakur said, in the aprakat-lila, he's simultaneously there in all dhams, Dwarka, Mathura and Braj, and there's no coming and going. No. Understand? So Dwarkadish there is eternally happy being Dwarkadish. But when we think of Dwarkadish, we think of Krishna from Vrndavan went to Dwarka and he's completely fried. He can't even get out of bed in the morning. You have heard in Brhad Bhagavatamrta, all the Yadu Vamsi have assembled together in the parliament. The assembly house of Dwarka, and they're waiting for Krishna to come, but he's not there. So then Narad comes, he cannot find him there, so then Narad goes to the palace of Rukmini. And there, Uddhav, Vasudev Maharaj, Devaki, Rukmini, Balaram, they're all meeting together and they're so worried. Krishna won't get out of bed. He's lying, covered his head with the blanket. and crying because he's feeling separation from Vrndavan. So, that's how we as Gaudiyas, we think of Dwarkadish Krishna. But in that eternal Dwarka, Dwarkadish is happy there, doing his Leela with them. Because we are thinking of Dwarkadish from the point of view of our relationship with Krishna in Vrndavan. Understand? So, in the spiritual sky, Srila Vishnu Thakur is saying, there's no coming and going. That moving, going back and forth, is not part of the Nitya Leela. He stays in each dham. Now, here, Sri Siddhanti Maharaj, who wrote this original commentary, and Srila Gurudev, who's translated and given some his moods in that. He raises a point that I was thinking about for years. For years I thought about this. In Brhad Bhagavatamrta of Sanatana Goswami, Gopa Kumar goes to Goloka Vrndavan. And after some time, a Krura comes and takes Krishna and Balaram away. And he describes in the most heart-wrenching fashion Krishna's departure from Vrndavan and the separation of the Brajvasis. And Krishna is away for 3 months. Yeah, 3 months. And then he comes back and everyone's so happy after 3 months. And then the Leela is going on again. And then and everyone forgets what happened. And after some time, Gopa Kumar saw again a Krura came and took Krishna away. Gopa Kumar, he's new there, he's just arrived in Goloka Vrndavan, and he's seeing this. So, it seems very strange that Srila Vishnu Thakur explains, in the aprakat-lila, there's no coming and going between the dhams, but in Brhad Bhagavatamrta, Srila Sanatana Goswami has described, when Gopa Kumar goes to the aprakat-lila, he sees this going to Mathura and returning again. Who is right? Sanatana Goswami or Srila Vishnu Thakur? Huh? Yeah, this is the thing, this is important. Many scholars, so many scholars, they have written in their explanations of our Goswami literatures how the Goswamis all have divergent viewpoints. Because they are outside of parampara. Only those who are in an authentic Sat Sampradaya are able to reconcile the apparently divergent viewpoints of their Purva Acharyas. Because no Acharya in the parampara will disrespect the previous Acharya. Because their realizations is coming from the mercy of previous Acharyas. So there's no question of minimizing the conception of an earlier Acharya. So we should not think that there's any difference between Srila Sanatana Goswami and the Srila Vishnu Thakur, but they're explaining some very subtle siddhantas. So here, Srila Gurudev is writing, Mahapurusho ke in katano mein bhi guda rahasya hai. These kathas of these great Mahapurushas contain Buddha Rahasya, extremely deep mysteries. जो उन महापुरुष की कृपा के बिना जाना नहीं जा सकता है. And those mysteries, they cannot be understood without the mercy of both, in this case, both of the acharyas. One has said one has said another, until one gets the mercy of both those acharyas. Then one will not be able to reconcile and understand these mysteries. So, now the reconciliation comes. Even though in the Nitya Braj there is no coming and going, as Srila Vishnu Thakur has said, this is correct. Because there is the Vartaman, there is no passage of time there. But in that aprakat, nitya lila, there is viraha bhav, separation mood. Sometimes when Radharani, she has no chance to meet with Krishna, he's gone very far into the forest, and her mother-in-law is keeping her in a home. She feels separation. Sometimes when Radharani is with Krishna, separation comes in the form of praying by Chitya. And in that separation, Yugaitam Niveshena, one moment seems like thousands of years. So even for others, what was one moment for Radharani was thousands of years. What does she experience in those thousands of years? What kind of pastimes does she feel? These are bhavs. So even though Krishna never leaves in that Nitya Lila, in Gokula, but in the badness of her bhavs, there's the feeling that he lives. You see? Now, नित्य ब्रज में गमन नहीं होने पर भी उसका भाव वर्तमान रहती है, वही विरह का कारण होता है. ब्रज के वैभव गोलोक में वही भाव कुछ स्थूल होता है. It means that even though in that Braj Gokul Krishna does not live, but the feeling comes in separation, and in the aprakat-lila, in the vaibhav of Gokul, which is Golok, then that bhav kuch sthul roop, that means is manifest, certain aspects of that bhav are manifest in a tangible form. Sthul roop is a gross, of course it's not gross, but it means coming from feeling actually manifests, and is seen in the vaibhav, in the Lila-Tattva. Understand? And now, prakat braj में braj और golok की कुछ लीलाएं मिश्रित होने के कारण ऐसा विलक्षण दृष्टिगोचर होता है. Did you catch that in Hindi? No. It means when the prakat-lila is going on in this world, just as we described, the various portions of the aprakat-lila are coming and shown in a sequence. So in the prakat-lila here, some nitya-lilas of Gokula are being shown, and it's also mixed with Golok-lilas. So this is the speciality of the prakat-lila in this world. You understand? No? I'll tell it again. In the aprakat-lila, in Braja, Krishna never leaves, but the bhav is there. Also in the aprakat-lila, in the vaibhav, prakash of Gokul, that is called Golok, some of those moods which are in Gokul are manifest in a tangible form. And here in this prakat-lila, there's a mixture of Golok-lila and Gokul-lila is mixed up in the prakat-lila in this world. Okay. Did you know this tattva? Did anyone know this tattva? Very mysterious and beautiful. So, if you contemplate the significance, the implications of this, many fantastic siddhantas have become open. So, in this way, we can accept what Srila Vishwacharya Thakur has said about in the Nitya Lila there's no coming and going, and what Srila Sanatana Goswami has said, that when Gopa Kumar went to Goloka, he saw Krishna leaving and coming. It means that when the Gopa Kumar arrived there in Goloka, he was experienced Lila-Tattva. You see, there was some opulence, and because when he arrived and spoke with Krishna, embraced him, and they both fainted in ecstasy. And when they came back to sense, then Krishna said, "Oh, you're in the material world for such a long time, and I tried to save you. I sent so many sadhus, but you never associated with them. I tried to give you so many chances to make Sukriti, but you wouldn't do any Sukriti. So in the end, by force, I made you take birth in Braj. So you have to do Sukriti. It said, if one will sleep only one night in Mathura, then his bhakti will awaken. So even sleeping in Braj Mandal helps us awaken our bhakti. So that doesn't mean you should, I'll do more sleeping then. You should think, if sleeping awakens bhakti in Braj, how much more benefit I'll get by being awake. Understand? And really being awake. So, but the point here is that Krishna told to Gopa Kumar, I tried to bring you to me, but any arrangement I made, everything failed. So then I broke all the rules. You had not Sukriti or anything. But by my causeless mercy, I made you take birth in Braj. Not only that, then I myself personally appeared. You know your Gurudev, Jayanta? Yes? That was me! And he said, now finally, after thousands of years, you have finally come to me. Welcome home. So, if in Braj there's no Aishwarya Gyan, and Krishna's the son of Yashoda, and he's like an ordinary cowherd boy, then how will he have a conversation? You were in the material world for so many lifetimes. I came as your guru, and now you finally come. You understand? So we see here that Sanatana Goswami is giving us an experience of Gopa Kumar entering in the Lila-Tattva, and that's why he could see Krishna leaving, coming and going in the spiritual world. And but the origin of that is the birth of the Gokula, though it's not manifest fully. And the mixture of Goloka and Gokula tattvas comes here in prakat-lila. So many of the Siddhantas are coming, but it will be overdose if I tell any more. So you try to assimilate these ideas, then when you are hearing Srimad-Bhagavatam, you see, then it becomes Krama Shuddha Shravandasha. One can hear with a proper discrimination, what am I hearing? Otherwise, if everything is mixed together, then the actual rasa and beauty of the divine Lila will not manifest in the heart.
So now we have to see what is Nitya, what is Naimitya, what is Prakat.
That's coming.
What is Prakat. Also what is Gokul and what is Goloka.
Yes, I told you earlier. Before telling you Siddhanta, I said also. Very, very... There's more, but I don't want to go any further. Are there any questions? Yes, Prabhu.
Have of so-called husband of Radhika, Abhimanyu, also can present Gokula.
So, Prabhu is asking, is Abhimanyu, Radharani's husband, present in Gokula? The Bhav is there. Yes, the Bhav is there. And Yogamaya creates the pratiti, the experience that the husbands are there. But it cannot be anyone's Nitya Swarup to always be angry with Radha and Krishna. You see? So this is not actually a person, but it's the Abhiman within the gopis created by Yogamaya. So even though we say there is no Abhimanyu, actually there's no experience that there's no Abhimanyu there. There's a total experience that Abhimanyu is there. Jyotila, on the other hand, is in a different category. Jyotila is in a different category because Jyotila actually loves Radharani and loves Krishna. But because she's the mother-in-law, it's her duty to protect her daughter. But in her heart, she actually has love. This is a speciality, but she has to be angry and controlling and all of these things.
in some pastime, Abhimanyu plays a role.
Yes. Yeah. There's no experience that he's not an eternal person who's, from his point of view, always suffering all the time. You understand? So no one has the subjective experience that there's no Abhimanyu. He's there for all intents and purposes. Yes.
But they will say always eternally in the Lord, or then they come to also go forever.
No, once they go to Goloka, this is their destination generally. There may be some exception, but there's no exception written in the Shastras. Because it said, sadhana bhavivo jaha siddha deya taha pava ragapat pakupakta mata e vichar. That what bhav you have at the time of your sadhana, that's what you will attain at the time when you are siddha. You see? So, those who are doing the Vaidhi Bhakti to Radha and Krishna, they may go to Goloka. Those who they mix some Radha-Nuga Bhakti, then they can go. They may go higher, they may go to Dwarka or Mathura. But only those doing pure Radha can go to Braja. Also, you should understand that there is Braja Gokula, which is completely Parakya Rasa, Shuddha Parakya and Shuddha Madhurya. And then there's Goloka, which is Aishwarya and Swakya Rasa. But actually in between, there are also so many manifestations where there are mixtures. Also, that is called Avivikta Swakya Parakya. Indiscriminable Swakya and Parakya. So there's one, and so that means that it's not a pure Braj Tattva, but there's some elements of Goloka Tattva there.
In today's noon program, the sadhu said something really interesting about how Govinda is the
Madan-Mohan, Govinda and Gopinath are the presiding deities of sambandha-jnana and Prayojan.
Yes, did he say that Gokula is the Prayojan, Govinda is the
Gopinath.
Oh, he said
Govinda, Gopinath and Madan-Mohan. These three deities are very deity Vaisnavas because they are the predominating deities. Madan-Mohan is the predominating deity of sambandha-jnana, and therefore he was discovered by Sanatana Goswami, the Acharya of Sambandha-Tattva. Govindaji is the predominating deity of Abhideya-tattva. Therefore he is discovered by Rupa Goswami, who is the Acharya of Abhideya-tattva. Now Gopinath, actually the Acharya of Prayojan Tattva is Raghunath Das Goswami. But Gopinath was discovered by whom? Do you know? Who discovered Gopinath Vigraha? Madhu Pandit. If you go to Gopinath in Jaipur, there you can see the jacket. There's a jacket and a hat of Madhu Pandit made of thousands and thousands of tiny tulsi beads. When he chanted Harinam, he wanted to take shelter of Brinda Devi. So he had a coat and a hat. It looks like lace, very beautiful, but made out of thousands of tiny tulsi beads, and he would dress himself completely in tulsi. So Madhu Pandit was the first Sevite or servant of Gopinath, but he did not discover him. Gopinath was actually discovered by Paramananda Bhakta. Paramananda Bhakta was wandering on the bank of Jamuna near Bangsibat. And sometimes the Jamuna moves and it cuts away a piece of the bank of Jamuna. And the Jamuna had washed away one piece of the bank of Jamuna and he saw sticking out slightly from the mud. There was the ancient deity of Gopinath, which had been established 4,500 years before by Vajranath, Krishna's great grandson. So Paramananda Bhakta actually discovered Gopinath, and then Madhu Pandit became the first Sevite Pujari of Gopinath. So in the song, Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe Madhupanditera Prandana He Madhupanditera Pranadana He Jaya Radha Gopinath Radha Gopinath Radhe. There's a famous kirtan which describes which Vaishnavas Ishtadev, which deity of Vrndavan is the Ishtadev of which Vaishnava. So Madhupandit is mentioned there, but the one who discovered it was Paramananda Bhakta. So Madan-Mohan is the predominating deity of sambandha-tattva. Why? Because Madan means Cupid, Kamadev. He charms all the people of this world that male and female become attracted to each other. So as long as there is any attraction to this material world, you cannot be established in sambandha-jnana. And so that form of Krishna, who is so beautiful, he bewilders even Cupid. And being so beautiful, he charms the living entities so they give up their attraction to mundane material desires and sex desire and so on. His name is Madan-Mohan. And so Madan-Mohan is the predominating deity of sambandha-tattva. Only once the devotee is established in sambandha-jnana, then he can follow Abhimanyu, the process of pure sadhana. So that is Govindaji. Divyat Vrndavan kalpas Srimad-Bhagavatam Singha-sanasto Sri Radha Srila Govinda Devo Vishtali Abhimanyu Smarami. In Raganuga Bhakti, Smaran is a Mukhya Anga. Smaran, remembrance, is the main Anga of Raganuga Bhakti. But it has to be done under the support of Kirtan, chanting, not separately from Kirtan. So here Abhimanyu said, I am doing Smaran of Radha Govinda sitting beneath the tree on the bank of Jamuna on a beautiful golden throne, and I'm remembering how they're being served by their very dear Sakis, Prashta Ahidi, Sevimano's mother. So we complete here. Now we have our Gora Arti. Everyone is invited to now give yoga pit. We will see you tomorrow morning, Mangalati. And tomorrow morning's Kirtan is at 8 and class at 9. Hare Krishna. Please take all your